All right, welcome everyone to our first Disrupt Network workshop. Today we have Sina Meier here as our expert. I'd like to give you a short intro to who she is and what she's been working on and what she currently does. So Sina is a director and head of business development and sales at 21 Shares, as you can see in the background of her video feed. They are an innovative fintech that creates financial on-ramps of crypto assets in the form of trackers or ETPs. She joined 21 Shares from her previous role at Crédit Agricole Next Bank, where she was heading the business development for the Swiss, German, and French-speaking parts of Switzerland. Sina excels at developing international high-net-worth individuals, as well as institutional investors, and holds a diploma as a certified international wealth manager. So as you can see, she's highly motivated, energetic, as you will find out, and with a strong entrepreneurial spirit. And that helps her leverage her solid 25 years of experience in the classic traditional banking sector with international clients, and helps her support this disruptive industry that blockchain is. So I think that's the shortest possible introduction anyone could give to Sina. Thank you for joining us today. Before we get started, let me just give all our participants a quick poll, because then you, Sina, will get to know them better. So to all those of you who joined, you will now see a little questionnaire pop up. So just answer that real quick.
Because we want to make them work right away.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Has everyone voted? Okay. Yeah, that's all from my side. I mean, Sina is going to be in the lead here and discuss how can women easily enter into blockchain. So with sharing the results, I'll hand over to Sina now.
Thank you so much, Jan. I check now first what you guys... Okay. Excellent. So let's do it. Thank you, Jan, again for the introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first panel, actually, because this is my first panel today. I'm super excited, like Jan said before. And why we actually did first this kind of online survey is I can see some of you are already into blockchain, some of you are not. So I'm like you, actually. I mean, like some people have no idea. And a couple of months ago, when you have asked me, what do you know about blockchain? I had seriously no idea. It was kind of Chinese to me. So I'm in the same boat like you guys. I started at 21 Shares about 4 months ago. And before maybe we start, I want to, because some of you might even not know what actually blockchain is. So blockchain, first of all, there's a very good video which I can highly recommend to you, which is called 99 Bitcoins. And it's called What is Blockchain? If someone is interested, I can send it to you right after the panel. It's super well explained what blockchain is in very simple words. And so I read you first. First, I have to read something to see what actually blockchain technology is. It is an open, censorship-resistant method for managing records by the public. It is a public database that stores all transactions of a decentralized network in a fraud-proof manner. This chain of data blocks growth as soon as several computers on the network confirm transactions and store them into new blocks. Also, blockchain is one element of Bitcoin. And well, I think this sounds super complicated to be very honest with you. So I prepared another example for you. And I thought, well, let's do something from a different sector. So why not taking the food sector, the food industry, right? For example, Nestle or whatever, they also use, some of them, they use also blockchain. And I take you like the example, for example, from the tea, because most of us, they drink tea. Some of you on a daily basis, sometimes only when you're sick. It depends what you like. And for example, like the tea example, when you have the seeds of the plants of the tea, someone kind of seeds them inside of the grounds. Then some people or some machine waters them. And each time we do something, we note it in a book. So first we do the seeds, we note this in a book. Then someone waters them, we noted this in a book in a different page. Then someone kind of checks sometimes, we note this again in the book. And then sometimes at the end, for example, when the plants are high enough, someone takes them out, we note this in a book. The trucks take them to pick them up, we note this in a book. And at the end, they're in the stores, and we know actually in which kind of stores they are. So we've noted this each time on a book, and this is actually something kind of the blockchain, how it works. It is kind of very simple, of course. I would explain like this in this kind of manner to a child actually. So blockchain is actually for transparency, traceability, tamper resistance, and transforms the food industry actually by farmers, retailers, suppliers, and consumers. So it's a trust system, right? And it's creating a better access to supply chain operations. That is something which kind of thought it's a good example to explain, like everybody would understand, even if you're not in blockchain today. And I don't want to talk too much kind of blockchain in general at the moment. For this, we might do another panel speaking. But why I wanted to talk really today to you is to share actually my personal story. So how did I, as a traditional, like Jan just said, traditional banker, like 25 years into normal traditional banking, kind of come into the blockchain industry? And I will tell you the story, and it's very honest, and it's exactly how this has happened. Actually, I was at one morning, I was in the office, and there was one of my colleagues. She came to me and we were talking like this, and I told her, listen, Karen, I don't know if I really want to stay into banking industry my whole life. I was happy with my job, but I just thought like 25 years in banking, how boring is that, right? And she said, really? You want to change? I was like, yeah, maybe I might be open to see something else, but I don't know really. And she said, listen, come in the meeting room. And she pushed me, literally, she pushed me in the meeting room. We had a coffee there. I had a tea because I like tea. And she said, listen, I think I have something for you actually. And I was like, really? What is it? And she was like, yeah, it's a little startup company, you know, they just started a few months ago. They're into kind of crypto blockchain. I was like, what? Crypto blockchain? Are you nuts? I have seriously no clue about crypto and blockchain. I'm into completely traditional banking. I work with real estate. I have no idea. So what's the matter? Why should I work in this kind of industry? They would never, ever hire me. And she was like, listen, just send me your CV over. See, you know, I mean, like, let's see what will happen, right? You might really fit into this company because the people are super nice and I think they might like you. And I was like, okay, what do I have to lose, right? I mean, I was really sure there's no way they would hire me. So I prepared my CV, but really roughly like this. And I sent it over to her, I think the next day. And for me, it was kind of out of my way and I forgot about it. And yeah, she sent my CV over to, I think it was the co-founder and CEO of our company. And they checked my CV and she said, listen, I think they like it, right? So he called me up and I was still like, but this is not possible. I think he didn't read actually my CV, I don't know. And we were talking and he was super sympathic and I really liked him and the way, and he said, listen, let's meet for a coffee because, you know, on the phone, you don't get the move and so on. Let's meet for the coffee. So I met with him for a coffee. I think it was maybe roughly like 2 weeks later, something like this, because I think he was at that time in New York. And I came over in a little coffee. I was dressed up, of course, like a banker, and he was there. And he was in jeans, t-shirts, sneakers, and it was completely different world. But still, he was a great guy. I could feel right away he's smart. I like him as a person. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, we are kind of making this team together, and we have a couple of people already, and we need someone like, you know, like a little bit out of the box, something, it could be someone like you. And I still, like, at this time, seriously, I'm not lying to you, I was still thought, no way. I mean, like, I'm not the person for kind of blockchain or for kind of cryptos. There's no way. And a couple of weeks later, I heard, I left the meeting, of course. A couple of weeks later, I went to an event because my friend, the same friend who sent my CV, she actually said, listen, they have a product launch, you know, for their products, which are listed at 6 at the stock exchange in Switzerland. So why don't you come over and you check, right? And I was like, okay, let's come over. Let's see what they're doing. Like, maybe I can check with the rest of the team and so on. So I went to an event like for the 6 product launch. And again, I met the people there. I found them super nice. And there was the other co-founder, and she was a woman. And I thought like, wow, this is super great, because I mean, it's not that I would be kind of a feminist or whatever, but I like when there's in a company someone like a woman, like in a place, a little bit a good position or whatever, and smart, and I completely go for it. And the event was finished. I met some of the team members, and I really liked them as people. And they asked me if I could come later on to for dinner, and so I can meet with some other people. So of course I accepted the dinner offer, and I went there, and we were talking. It was a super nice evening, actually. It was warm outside, and we drank something. It was super great. And I felt kind of, they were, you know, my favorite animal, they're orcas. So they were kind of around me like this, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here, right? And I asked them, so what are your kind of intentions, right? It's like something super naive, like I asked them. And they told me, well, we really like you. So, and I said, okay, so if you really like me, just send me an offer. Why do we talk now for hours and hours? Send me an offer and we will see. And well, even up to now, I was still convinced that they would not hire me. Why should they take someone like me from the traditional banking world, right? And I think about 3 or 4 days later, they sent me an offer, and I was super surprised. I mean, like, this is now serious. Now it's starting, actually, because yeah, they sent me an offer, and it was a nice offer, and I really could see myself in this company, and I could feel the groove and the spirit with them. And this is actually when I accepted the offer. And this is when I kind of launched into this blockchain industry, on crypto industry. I had a couple of more months to work at my company where I used to work. And I told them that I will quit, and they were super sad, but I was sad, and at the same time I was excited for something new, something like everybody, you know, it was everywhere, always in the news about blockchain, about cryptos, about this kind of network. And it was super great, because I looked forward to start my new position in January this year, actually, at the new company. And today I'm working in crypto for a couple of months, so since January. And I realize actually now the opportunities for women, you know, in this field, because in our company, they are maybe like fixed employees. They're, including the co-founder, I think we are 3 women. And the rest of it, we are 26 in total. So the rest of it are men. So even if I go now I went to kind of events or to see other people, if we have meetings, there are always so many guys. It's not that I don't like to work with them, but I really like that and appreciate them a lot. But I find it kind of sad, because the more they learn, I think it's super exciting. It's a subject, the people who know me now, they know exactly what I talk about. I think everybody should know about it, because it's everywhere, and it's coming more and more, and there are so many jobs which could be interesting, you know, for this kind of industry for women. Don't think about just like something like really like algorithm things like mathematics, whatever. Some of you like that, but most of you probably not. So there are so many things about design, marketing, legal issues, compliance issues, sales opportunities, business development, etc., 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 public relations. There's so many kind of jobs which were very, very interesting in our sector, like the blockchain sector. And actually, I think also the blockchain technology is changing our daily life, because, for example, I think it's an added value, actually, blockchain for the daily life, because it's getting more and more transparent for the consumer. Let's say, for example, some of you might like something like organic cotton, and you really want to make sure that your t-shirt is really, the cotton is produced at a certain circumstance or a certain country or whatever. So with blockchain, you, like I told you before, with this book thing, you can check from one, go back to the source when it was planted or where it was. So who was the people working with that, sometimes in some extremes, right? So it's changing like our daily life. Like this is just one example now, but blockchain is it can be everywhere. Or if you're in real estate, for example, it could be like, be something like you have a real estate, and you want to buy it with several co-owners, and you can kind of get token each. I'm going not too much in details. You're getting something out of it, so you can have a like kind of investment, something like this, and you need to go to notary and whatever, and everything would be like automatic. You don't need to go to from one notary to the other one anymore. All this is actually the future. So I truly believe in this kind of technology, which exists already for a couple of years, but I really do believe in this technology. And not only, I'm not talking about Bitcoins only. Yeah, I talk about blockchain in general. Like I told you before, Bitcoin, I mean, blockchain is only one element of Bitcoin. And actually, something else, what is also very funny, and I talked to you before about going to events. And I went about, I think it was in February, actually, I went to another event, which kind of was from women in ETF. And there was kind of two girls talking about, one of it was talking about salary negotiation for women, because some of, I mean, like many of us, we kind of have a hard time to negotiate for the salary. And the other subject was also kind of how women do manage the money in the household. And she showed us, these women, they showed us also with proven track records that only 40% of the women in Switzerland to manage the money. And I realized that, well, there were so many women there and very few men. And I mean, like, I know that today there are actually some women I met through this event. So you might laugh now when I talk about this. So the panel was finished, and I said, listen, I had a question. And I told the girls there, like they were maybe 100 or 150 girls. I told them, listen, there are so many men in my sector. I mean, this is blockchain, a Bitcoin thing. Where the hell are you girls? Because it's such an interesting subject. And I mean, like, women are raising mostly the kids. And this is a subject which will become more and more about Bitcoins or about blockchain. And many of us have no idea. Are you not curious to know more about blockchain or about cryptos or whatever? Because I think it should be something, we should create something together, see each other sometimes, create maybe some courses or whatever, you know, that we know more, that we have more this kind of knowledge. And we need actually to jump on the train, right? And some of the girls, they were coming to, even including actually the panel speakers. And they said to me, listen, Sina, you're completely right, because this is such a big industry. And yeah, maybe you should talk about the opportunities, and you should kind of push the girls a little bit, even at university, and to explain to them actually what Bitcoin is, or what cryptos are, or whatever. And I really like the ideas, because many of us, we think kind of, yeah, well, do we need a tech background, right? We need that for Bitcoins or for blockchain. But well, no, not necessarily. I mean, like, the co-founder from our company, of course, she has this background. Many of my colleagues, they have this background. But like I told you before, there are many job opportunities where you don't need actually a tech background, like business development, what I told you before, like PR or whatever. There's so many kind of job opportunities in this kind of field. And my specially, what I really would like is that we create something that we show how it goes to other women, that they get an idea, that they can later on explain to our kids what blockchain is. Maybe like not the tea example, but maybe something different, you know, what they would understand. And this is super important for me. And actually, the bottom line also of my what I just told you now, is that what I achieved actually to change my sector from going from traditional banking to come into more something like blockchain is also because of networking in general is such a big thing. What we really need to do, I think, more and more, that we stick together and we go to events, and we actually can exchange our ideas, like we will do also after the panel. There might be about 15 minutes where you can ask questions which we can discuss together, you know, that we have this open discussion. I find this so important, and that we show our faces and go to these events sometimes. And yeah, sometimes, frankly, it's not very pleasant, because there are many men there, and we kind of feel shy because you're more in the picture, because there are less women at these events. But well, we can still go, and the more we are, we can create something, be together, having a nice time there, drink after a glass together, and share our ideas and whatever. And also my job, my new job today, I had, just because I spoke to my friends, I spoke to her openly and said, listen, maybe I need to go into something else. Of course, I feel very comfortable to speak with her about it because I knew her. But still, if you would say more what you really feel, you know, about, well, maybe I would like to have something else, or I'm completely convinced I would like to have something else. Do you know someone who is in this field? You know, can you maybe help me? Do you have a network there? Or if we don't, let's go once to an event together, you know, and see let's check it out and see, you know, what we can learn new. So this is something like the bottom line, like what I would say, like what I achieved, also thanks to next networking, actually, which is super important. And that's why actually I would really highly advise you, excuse me, I would really highly advise you certain things. And I made myself a little checklist, just that I don't forget it, because I think it's important that you remember this. First of all, what I really find it's important, what I cannot more repeat is network. Like, go to events, or sometimes network doesn't have to be only events. It can also be like, for example, I was discussing just about 1 hour ago with one of my friends, and she was saying like, how you actually do that, right? For this networking. Well, it's not that complicated. Sometimes, you know, you don't have to go events. I have no kids, I can go there sometimes, but for you, for other people, it could be also an idea. But just send someone a text like, hey, hi, how are you? Oh, I saw you have a new job. How do you like it? Could we have once a coffee together, or can we see each other, whatever? This is also networking. It's not only about events, but just like communicate together, you know, like this. The other thing is also listen. Listen what other people tell you. Get some ideas. What do they understand this? Sometimes we realize it, sometimes we can check it up, whatever. Listen actually, because you will find out so much about the others, which can be a big, big advantage for you after that you see these people like that. Even for clients, if you listen and if you carefully listen what they really say, you can kind of, okay, I get this point for this person, this and this is important, right? So you can catch them on an emotional level actually, but we are girls who are very good at it, And also sharing. I always say like sharing is caring. And it's true, I find, if you share something together, it could be anything, could be an idea, could be something like whatever it is. It could be something very completely different subject, but I share sometimes when people see me like, oh, where do you go to the hairdresser? Oh, I have this and this address, people go there as well. It's because I'm sharing my ideas. It's super important to make people included, and you can often say how much they can go inside of your life, right? You don't have to tell them all the private things, but I think it's super important. And also giving is something like what you give will come back to you 10 times more. I mean, like when I, for example, give a name or an address, or I share like a doctor's thing where this is a good person, go and see this one. I know someone for this and this issue. It's not that I think after, oh, something will come back, so I would tell her, let's go there and whatever. No, it's about if I give, and I give a lot, like of my contacts, about my ideas, about positive energy, the more we come back from you after. Even if in the beginning I was always saying like, wow, I'm so lucky, luck is always following me. But I think I figured that luck is following me because I give ideas, I have this energy, and people feel good. So in a different way, this is super important, I find. Also take initiative to organize something, or to call someone, or to send someone a message saying, hi, how are you? Let's do this and this, let's meet up, whatever. Take initiative, because maybe the other person doesn't want to do it because kind of afraid or kind of shy, whatever. So let's do this positive energy. Let's go forward. Take initiative. Also motivate yourself and others. It's kind of a giving, like I said before, and taking. Mentoring is something I also find super important. I know some of you are mentors. I know that. Sometimes you are the mentor and sometimes I'm the mentor. So again, it's going into kind of this sharing, which is super important, I find, to find new jobs, or to find some ideas, or to create a own company or whatever. I find this super important. Also find your own success model. I mean, what I'm telling you today, it's not like everybody, Sina, needs to do like this and this is just the right thing to do. No, I'm sharing what is the right thing for me, what I think brings me something, and what I saw maybe for other people. But you might have completely different ideas, which are for you, which are right for you, and which are your own success model, And also I find something, I mean, most of us, we overthink, like the girls thing, like, if I would do this, what would he think, and whatever. No, don't overthink, just do it, right? Sometimes be spontaneous and have no fear. This is the next thing. No fear. Ask. Sometimes when we are meetings, we kind of girls like, I'm sorry, I still have a question. I mean, there is no sorry, right? Just ask the question. And question is something like, no one knows everything. There's wrong question. So no fear, no overthinking, right? And a really other thing, what is super important, what I think, is education. Education, stay curious, keep learning, share. If you don't know, there is Google, whatever. You can everything look up in kind of a minute, or a second. Sorry, you can read a book sometimes, or you can go to these online panels, or you can something what really inspires you. I mean, like for everybody, some of people, they really need to be at home with their own books, and they need to whatever. It is whatever it is, what makes you happy, where you feel good. That's the right thing, right? There's no role model how it should be. And also something what I think is super important is try something new. You saw it now with my example. I mean, like seriously, I tried now to be in the crypto industry, and I really would be such a great thing for me to go in this kind of different environment, in this different sector. And of course, the people are also a little bit a different spirit, you know, and try something new sometimes, from time to time. Even I always said, and this I think it's from the Dalai Lama, it was once written that you should need to go at least once a year in a country or the place you don't know. This is also try something new, discover something else. I think this is super important. And also, nobody today will probably stay in the same job for all their life. Most of you have already changed, or you will still change, because life is super fast. So we need to adapt. So go with the flow and do what you feel, do and go what makes you feel happy, actually, right? And so with all what I told you just now, this is actually my goal, why I'm also giving this panel now, is that I want to tell you, like, I really want the women go into education and boost their growth female business model and open the floor to new women in blockchain and cryptos. And of course, also this is valid for other jobs. I just speak now actually for myself, that I think that the women education in general, to be open and to learn something else, is super, super, super important. And well, to close my monologue, because after I also would like that you talk a little bit, and I think that the micro should be open to all of you, is I read, actually, I'm reading at the moment a book which I really like, and it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And there is actually one guy that that says that, yeah, he's asked once a guy in the mining industry that why are you so sure that you find actually gold? And he said, well, you know, if you look for gold everywhere, you will find it, right? And this is actually something I find is super important, that you keep your eyes open, that you believe in it, and it will be good.